It's start to finish on Modern Marvels. Kia Motors Manufacturing in West Point, Georgia is a $1 billion, 650-acre arena of high tech. Everything in this state-of-the-art facility is precisely calibrated for maximum efficiency and speed. Each vehicle will be built in 23.3 hours, and there's no room for error. And the clock starts ticking here. Each one of these galvanized steel coils weighs 44,000 pounds. When unrolled, they stretch for more than a mile. The coils are lifted by 50-ton overhead cranes and placed on an enormous spool, which feeds the raw steel through a blanking press. This massive machine has a simple job. Unroll the steel coil, then cut it down to size. With its fast-moving dies, the blanking press can cut up to 40 panels each minute. Panels are then fed through the stamping press, the largest machine in the entire factory. It weighs in at more than 5,000 tons. Its massive dies move at 15 strokes a minute, molding the tough steel as if it were clay. After less than an hour in the stamping shop, what was once an enormous steel coil is now a stack of shiny new auto body parts. But we're just getting started. Next up is one of the most automated departments in the entire automotive industry, Kia's welding shop. Here there are just 62 humans and 242 robots. Each vehicle that goes through the welding shop will receive more than 2,000 welds, all performed flawlessly by robots. Human operators could take an entire day to complete a car body. Robots can fuse one together in 90 minutes. It was 1961 when the first industrial robots went to work for a General Motors plant. These robots, called Unimate, were basically mechanized lifters and welders. They were cutting edge for the time, but they still had plenty of drawbacks. But as the decades passed and technology took off, robots with sensors and computer vision became commonplace. Today at Kia, sophisticated robotic systems perform the most difficult, dangerous, and repetitive tasks. From start to finish, the overhead conveyor transports the floor of the car to the body build line, where the vehicle starts to take shape. With their free range of movement and precision programming, industrial robots almost look like they have minds of their own, but they don't. This interface is critical, especially here at Roof Assembly, where precisely choreographed machines have 1 minute to do their job.
We got to run a car every 60 seconds, so the robot's got to go in, do its job, and get out of the way in that 60 seconds.
One small thing that we should realize with robotic systems is that once it's programmed correctly, that robot is not going to get tired. It's not going to make a mistake.
After just an hour and a half, what was once individual doors, fenders, roofs, and floors are now recognizable vehicle shells in need of a paint job. Back at Kia Motors, it's been just 2.5 hours, and these 20-ton coils of steel are close to becoming new sets of wheels. But there's still some traveling to do, and the most precarious pit stop is just ahead. The paint shop. Each new car will spend about 1/3 of its early life in paint.
The whole process from this point is a little over 8 hours. There's roughly 6 miles of conveyor in this plant, so it takes a while to travel that.
It's way too much of a time investment to risk even the smallest error, so the plant takes extreme precautions here. This shop is as clean as the most sterile operating room. Everything that enters must thoroughly decontaminated. That goes for humans, as well as cars, because the slightest speck of dust can ruin a shiny new paint job. The first step is pre-treatment. A series of washes and chemical dips that prep the vehicle surface for paint. It's a laborious process, but the payoff is an immaculate metal canvas ready for customized color. And that first coat of paint packs quite a punch.
The proper term is electrodeposition. We dip the unit and tank of electrically charged paint. It coats not only the outer surfaces, but the inner cavities and crevices and the underside of the unit.
This 86,000-gallon bath is about 90% deionized water and 10% paint solids. And did we mention it's supercharged with electricity?
This is a DC current. It's very high voltage. We cannot let anybody in there while it's turned on.
The cars are grounded with a copper strip on the conveyor. And because opposite electrical charges attract, the paint particles bind themselves to the cars as if the metal were a magnet.
It's corrosion prevention. It coats the inside and the outside of the car, so it's a rust preventative for body seams and things that you can't see and the things you really can't get to with paint.
It takes 6 minutes for each shell to pass through the electrodeposition tank. And once they're coated, these cars are practically rust-proof. Next stop, the paint booth. This is where all the prepping pays off. As cars get the one coat the whole world will see. Here they take no chances. Everything in the paint booth is controlled by computers and performed by robots.
Inside the robot arm, there is what we call a color valve. We paint currently 10 different colors, and all 10 colors of paint are piped up to that color valve. As the unit comes into the robot's work envelope, it knows what color it's going to spray, so it triggers the color valve, and it sprays the color required for that unit.
Each car has already been outfitted with an ID number. Computer tracking throughout the factory guarantees that every car gets its required color.
We can paint a white car, a red car, a green car in that order, and all we have to do is a quick purge and cleaning of the line that goes out the end of the robot, and then we load a new color in behind it.
Flat gray is out, color is in. After 8 hours in the paint shop, we're one step closer to hitting the highway. From start to finish, the paint shop is engineered to prevent costly mistakes. And because of the incredible automation, it can almost run itself. Perhaps this is a glimpse into the factory of the future.
The more sophisticated our robotic systems and machine tools become, we're just going slowly but surely towards the fully automated factory.
Meanwhile, back at Kia, we're one step closer to hitting the highway. It's been quite a ride so far. After stamping, welding, painting, and drying, these new cars have finally earned their wheels. And they get them, among other things, in General Assembly, the final stop before hitting the open road.
The car comes in as an empty body. We place the electronics into the car. We place the wiring. We then put the chassis module. We place all the interior trim. And then it becomes a finished car that rolls off the end of the assembly line to the customer.
Every car gets a run through the showers to test for water tightness. And finally, it's time to crank it up and hit the test track. Because the day isn't over until each new car is taken for a first spin.
Okay, time to take the vehicle for a test drive. We get up to 50 right here, and we'll set the cruise. Right here, we'll let go.
Hard to believe that just 23 hours ago, this
Emergency brake works.
was this.